All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your 2018 NFL Divisional Round of the Playoff Pre-Game Analysis Show. I am the host of the damn show. I'm not going to say obviously because you already get the message. I am the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. This video is provided to you, or I should say presented to you by Bookie.ag. Use the promo code Chiseled Adonis. Click on the links in the description and also the top pinned comment. Go over there, bet you some money on the games. I have already did so. I will inform you on which teams I did indeed bet on and how much money I put down. I'm not going to tell you how much money I put on, but I'm going to tell you what teams I bet on to win this upcoming weekend, or I should say tomorrow and the following day after tomorrow. That is not the movie. No, we're not talking about the movie. We're talking about Sunday, but we'll start with the games. Now, we're not going to go in order of the games and how they're going to be played. We're just going to talk NFC, AFC, and how we're going to set up this AFC and NFC championship. So I'm very excited for these Elite 8 teams that remained in this postseason, because thus far, last week's games, they were very entertaining. I was thoroughly entertained myself, but this week I'm expecting to see much more, and it's going to be much better football. Number one, we're going to start off in the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the Los Angeles Coliseum to take on the Rams. Now, a lot of people are over here talking about, well, you know, the Rams, they're playing at home. Let me tell you something. Los Angeles has no sort of loyalty. They have no sort of affiliation to any football team. You've seen countless teams that have gone on the road. They darn near had more fans and more jerseys of the opposing team coming in than the home team that's there. So I expect to see much more Cowboys fans there than I'll see Rams fans. So it's going to be a very neutral sort of feel. Hell, you might just find out a situation in which there's more Dallas fans than Rams fans there. It might be a home field game for the Dallas Cowboys. But this particular game, I wanted to say the Rams were going to win, but something is telling me that the Dallas Cowboys might just win this game. Why? That man who happens to be playing in the backfield, who constantly goes outside in crop top shirts. We're talking about Ezekiel Elliott here. If he can go out there and replicate the exact same damage that he did to the who they played last week, the Seattle Seahawks last week, and he can do that against the Rams, this game is done. Bottom line, if Zeke gets going and this man can have over 130 yards on the ground, the game is finished. All right, I don't see a circumstance in which Zeke goes over 130, they control the clock and all that other good noise, and they lose the game. Well, it's something might have to go wrong. So number one, if the Rams would have to win this game, they got to find a way to shut down Zeke. The Cowboys, now granted, everybody knows Zeke is the key. The X factor for them to win this game, it's going to have to be Dak, because you can run the ball. All right, you can run against the Rams defense. A lot of teams have been able to do it. And you know the Cowboys game plan is going to be feed Zeke the ball. However, those situations in which the Rams stack the box, which they will, and you got 7, you got 8, all the way down there. Hell, you might even find a situation where they got no safety, they bring down 9. I wouldn't do it if I was the defensive coordinator, but hey, what do you know? It's Los Angeles. Sometimes people just on the weed and don't know what they're doing, but Dak has got to be efficient on third down. He cannot turn the football over, because we know the Rams have a very opportunistic defense. All right, they don't play a collective complete game, but they have isolated plays that will really hurt you. You got a man like Aqib Talib, where anytime this man puts his hands on the football, he could turn it into 6. You got somebody like a Marcus Peters, who will constantly get burned. But if he's in the area of the football, he can either intercept, he can force you to fumble, or he can recover it, and he might just take it the other way for 6 or put the team in a better position to score. All right, you got that damn game wrecker in Aaron Donald up front. Might I add, and Ndamukong Suh. A bunch of people have been criticizing this man all year long about him underperforming, so you know he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder as well. All right, you got those two up front. You still got Fowler. You still got Brockers over there and all that other stuff. So they got some names on the defensive side that can be game wreckers on isolated plays. So Dak has got to make sure when that ball's in his hands, he gets rid of it quickly. He makes the smart reads and connects with his receivers. Amari Cooper, this is the game for him to go off, all right? Because I think when he's lined up against Aqib Talib, he's not going to succeed as well, because we've seen when he was in Oakland going against the Denver Broncos, he didn't have the best of games. I believe he had a couple of games where he did very well. But for the most part, this man was always up and down. And we've seen this particular season with Amari Cooper, he hasn't really had consecutive games in which he goes off. You'll have one good game here, he'll disappear for two. Or maybe he'll have two consecutive, he'll disappear for three. So we'll see if he can be consistent moving forward. Cole Beasley, we need to see him excel in the slot. All right, we're going to need to see Dak be able to connect with his receivers on third down, on second and long, in order to make it third and manageable. That's what the key is going to be. Now for the Rams, this is one of my issues that I have with these offensive coordinators nowadays, where they fall in love with the pass deep into the season, December, January football. You understand what sort of football you got to play this late into the season. This late into the season, you got to play some smash mouth football. You got Todd Gurley in the backfield. You hand the ball to Todd Gurley and you watch the man with the dreadlocks work. He better have 25 carries, because we saw last year in the game against the Falcons, they came out very flat and they did not run the ball effectively. They got to be able to do that. Now, granted, Dallas's defense is no slouch. They are not. However, you can try to fool them with the play action fake. Russell Wilson was throwing the ball effectively for the most part last game. In the postseason game, the pass was working. It wasn't anything extra explosive, but you were able to move the ball. The issue was the play calling. So I would hope Sean McVay watches the film the way he usually watches film, finds the voids in the defense, and then he's able to throw good passes here and there. They're really missing Cooper Kupp over the entire duration of the season. It really shows how much, valuable, or how much value he had to the offense. All right, but I think I can see it. Brandon Cooks take the top off of the defense. I expect to see Robert Woods have a very good game. If not him, it'll probably be who's the other slot receiver? It's escaping me. It'll probably come back to me a little bit later. But I expect to see either Woods, Cooks, one of the two is going to have a very good game coming out of the slot. Jared Goff cannot turn the football over. Cannot afford to turn the football over, because if you have a situation in which when they played against Chicago, when you got 4 interceptions, this game done. You can't give a football back to a team that can run the ball effectively. You're always going to lose like that. So the key for the game for the Rams, run the ball, feed Gurley, whether it's on the ground or hell, even through the year. He's one of the better receiving backs in the league. Feed Gurley. He better have at least 30 touches, not 30 carries, 30 touches, including catches, including carries, bottom line, if they want to win this game, because they need to be balanced. If it becomes a Jared Goff show, this game is over. Defensively, you got to play a bend, not break sort of situation. We've seen the Rams do it all year long. They'll allow you into the red zone, and then at that point, they'll stop you. All right, but they need to play a bend, not break sort of game, okay? They cannot allow touchdowns. They have to make the Dallas Cowboys settle for field goals. Now, for the Dallas team, run the ball with Zeke. Dak has to be efficient, and defensively, if you give up big plays and the Rams get going and they got the momentum, tough to beat. But I am leaning towards the Dallas Cowboys. We didn't bullet. I'm leaning towards them to win this game. I think it's going to come off of the foot of Brett Maher. Now, I do have this weird, eerie feeling as if the Cody Parkey situation might just happen again. It might come down to a field goal and somebody either miss or they don't get the snap. I don't know why it just popped into my head. Maybe it's just the spirit of Cody Parkey done came over me and said more people are going to feel the wrath of the goalpost / somebody getting their fingers on the ball, but more of me hitting the goalpost. Whatever the case is, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. However, the Rams still can win. This is one of those, coin flip sort of situations. I'm just leaning more towards Dallas. I could wake up tomorrow and lean more towards the Rams, but I'll put down some money on Dallas to win this game. So you guys can go prove me right and win me some money on mybookie.ag. Use the promo code Chiseled Adonis, or you guys can go out there and lose, make me lose my money, but for the rest of the season, we won't have to hear, "Wait, that boys, we going to the Super Bowl," because you can't go to the Super Bowl if you got eliminated from the postseason. But of course, you could always go there on Madden. But I'm rolling with the Cowboys to win this game. Next NFC game that we got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the New Orleans Saints, or I should say traveling to the New Orleans to take on the Saints. Rematch of week, I can't remember the week, but it was 48-7. I believe somebody came and they corrected me about the score. Now, last time that they played, it was Carson Wentz that was playing quarterback, not Nick Foles. Do I think the quarterback, the changing of the quarterback will, be a difference? Not at all. I think the Saints win this game. Not that the Eagles aren't capable. My only issue is, can their secondary cover the New Orleans Saints while the New Orleans Saints are playing at home? Like, when the last time that we saw them play against each other, they were losing people like flies. The Eagles lost a ton of players in their secondary. I think they were down to like their second or third string back there. When I say second, I'm not talking about, oh, this is a nickel corner who has to play outside corner. I'm talking about these are guys that weren't really in the rotation like that, and now they're out there starting. Okay, but, or I should say, they're getting more snaps than they're used to getting, rather than that now they're out there starting, because they were already in the rotation. But they were, now you're playing 50 damn snaps in contrast to the 25 that you were playing before. But nonetheless, I expect to see the Saints come out here and be able to play effective football. I don't see a situation in which they run the ball effectively. I think they're gonna have to dump down much more consistently rather than run. I don't think Mark Ingram has a big game on the ground, or I should say Mark fuck out of here Adrian Peterson Ingram. I don't expect to see a game in which he has big production on the ground, or even for Kamara, I don't see a situation in which he has a lot of production on the ground. But it's gonna be the stream game, because if you remember last week, you played against a very good rushing attack from the Chicago Bears. Jordan Howard didn't have a very good day on the ground. Tariq Cohen only had, 1 or 2 carries on the ground? So what do you expect to see the Saints come out and do against that Eagles front? However, you can throw on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I think if the Saints were to come out in a sort of a spread sort of formation, this will change the entire game. And if you make it the Drew Brees show where he has to throw against this secondary with those guys that he got at receivers over here, speedy, no-name people, this could be very scary. I don't expect to see a situation in which the Saints blow out the Eagles, but I think the Saints will win this game. I think it'll be close in the beginning, probably through the first 2 quarters, but then after halftime, the Eagles, they'll start to let up. Offensively, I see Nick Foles being able to, move the ball at least to midfield, and at that point, whether it's the receivers just can't make a play, or the offensive line doesn't, produce the same way they did last week, because they did a hellacious job up front, but can they keep that up against guys like Cam Jordan and all those other guys up front? So we'll see how that all plays out. But it all comes down to the Saints offense against the Philadelphia defense, and I think the Saints offense will be able to come through once again. Now, we're not going to talk about, Drew Brees being undefeated at home. I don't really look at what's happened in the past and think that's going to change what's going on in the present or even in the future. However, just the motivation coming into this game with Sean Payton putting the Super Bowl trophy down, putting $25,000 down, or $225,000 down, whatever the hell it was, and saying, if you want to get this, you got to win 3 games. I think that in itself, just visualizing, seeing the Lombardi, seeing all that money there, it's going to be added motivation. And I don't think the Eagles were supposed to. It's similar to what you saw last year with the Vikings defeating the Saints. This team got here on a whim. They got here on the, they were a beneficiary of like a crazy sort of play. So I don't think they're as good as, them coming into that particular game. I don't know if I explained that the right way or articulated the right way, but for those who understand, you understand. So I'm rolling with the Saints to win this game. Their keys, number 1, they've got to be able to convert on 3rd down. Okay, that everybody, if you want to win games, you got to be able to convert on 3rd down, but I think their ability to throw screens, and more importantly, running back screens, is what's going to help them. I think Kamara or Ingram, one of the two, they're going to have like 80 yards through screens, or I should just say through the pass game, and that's going to be the X factor for the Saints. Defensively, they got to get to Foles. They have got to get to Foles. Cameron Jordan, you got to get to Foles. All these other guys got to get to Foles. That's how they're going to win this game. For the Eagles, I would love to say establish the run game, but it's very hard to run against the New Orleans Saints. Nick Foles, or I should say the offensive line, you got to protect Foles. If he's under duress, game is done. Game is done, because he's already taken a lot. He's already taken a lot of hits. He's already taken a lot of hits, and you've seen him come out of the game from time to time. So, I shouldn't say time to time, but isolated times throughout the season, or I should say like 2 or 3 times that he ended up coming out. But nonetheless, they got to protect Foles, and for Foles, you got to protect the football. You cannot turn the football over against Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints, because they will make you pay. They will turn it into points, but I'm rolling with the New Orleans Saints to win this game. Now we're going over to the AFC. We got the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Star Foxborough to take on Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. This game, I'm picking the Chargers to win. All right, I believe the Chargers will win this game. Why? Not because, well, Phillip Rivers is due to get a W over Tom Brady because he's never defeated Tom Brady. It's because the Chargers have a better football team. Now, if you look at the New England Patriots, if they get their run game going, you give Tom Brady access to the entire playbook, you're in trouble. But looking how the Chargers made their adjustments to defeat the Ravens last week, in which they controlled the entire game through 3 quarters and about 5 minutes. So what's that, 40 minutes? 50 minutes. They controlled the game for about 50 minutes and then they begin to let up. I don't think Anthony Lynn is going to take his foot off the gas pedal like he did last week. More importantly, I believe the Chargers offense can score against the Patriots defense. Do I expect Melvin Gordon to go out there and run all over the defense? I don't expect to see that happen. In fact, he hasn't been practicing the entire week, but he is cleared to play. More importantly, Hunter Henry is back as well. Stephen A. Smith, I'm sure you're happy about that. But I think Phillip Rivers can move the ball effectively on this Patriots defense. They're just in a situation in which they have to score touchdowns. They can't settle for field goals like they did last week. If the Chargers can get into the end zone and put up 6 rather than 3, I believe they'll win this game because I think the Chargers defense will be able to stop Brady. It's going to be one of those situations where you have one team scores a lot of the time, the other team scores some of the time. So that's what it's going to be, because I think Tom Brady will be able to methodically move down the field on isolated drives, but I think that offensive line will fail him, and that front 4 of the Los Angeles Chargers will get to him, because we saw when they played against Pittsburgh, you saw the struggles of the offensive line against just a front 4, and you think Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, and hell, Mebane is practicing as well, and I believe he's going to play as well. You think they're not going to be able to generate offense, or I should say generate a pass rush against that offensive line? They should be able to. We'll see if the Patriots offensive line can play like the Eagles offensive line and overperform. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, in the secondary, Casey Hayward cannot continue to give up big passes down the field. Derwin James can't get caught looking into the backfield. Guys got to have their heads on a swivel, because Tom Brady will take advantage of you, man. They will. More importantly, they got to play man defense. If they can't play man coverage and you go out there in zone, Tom Brady is a zone killer. You're going to see Chris Hogan come in, have 18 snaps, but have 10 catches for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. Julian Edelman, X factor for the Patriots. He has to perform. He has to perform. If this man don't have over 100 yards, or Gronk don't have over 100 yards, game done. Game done. Those 2 people, they need the ball in their hands. Tom had better combine for at least 15 to 20 targets to just those 2 people. And the Patriots got to get Sony Michel going on the ground if they want to win this game, because Tom Brady's going to do what Tom Brady do. I don't need to say nothing about Tom Brady. That's Tom Brady. He going to do what he got to do. The other people around him, they got to show up. Derwin James, probably it's going to be his job to take care of Gronk. So I'm going to need a linebacker, if you're the Los Angeles Chargers, to touch Gronk up, touch him up at the line. He can't get free releases. He cannot get free releases. Julian Edelman, somebody's going to have to guard him, whether it's King having to move to the slot, because we know he's been outside, but hell, he's a hell of a slot corner as well. I believe if they want to play this game correctly, I would leave Hayward on whoever the hell's outside. I would put King on Edelman. I would have Derwin James line up with Gronk, or even have a linebacker line up on Gronk, just touch him up, and then the safety picks him up. And that's how you would play the game. The other receivers, you put whatever corners out there. Casey Hayward is still effective for the most part. The man was a Pro Bowler, I think the past 2 years or something like that. He can cover whoever has to be there, but they just can't get beat deep. But I believe the Chargers can win this game. I actually put down a little bit of money on the Chargers to win this game as well. And finally, the Kansas City Chiefs are hosting the Indianapolis Colts. I'm rolling with the Colts to win this game. I have no sort of feeling as if the Chiefs will win. I have none in my soul. I believe the Colts walk in and they walk out with the W. Why? Because the Kansas City defense is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't think they're going to stop Andrew Luck at all. What you saw the Chargers, what you saw the Colts do last week in the first 2 quarters against the Texans, or I should just say the first quarter against the Texans, I think Andrew Luck does that exact same thing against this Kansas City defense. The Kansas City offense, they're going to do their job. The Colts defense is much better than we anticipated. I think Mahomes is still going to put up points. I think they'll be able to score 4 touchdowns. I think at the least the Chiefs will score 28, but I don't think their defense will be able to stop the Colts. That's their Achilles heel. And more importantly for the Colts, their strength is their offense. We've seen it happen before in the postseason where the Chiefs jumped out to a huge lead, 28 points, I believe, and then bam, back came the Colts and they won. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I just have no confidence in this Kansas City Chiefs defense, and that's what failed them. Every single time they've been in the postseason, it's been their defense that has failed them, and they haven't addressed it this year. And you've seen it time in, time out. Their defense has failed them. That's why I believe the Colts will win this game. I can't even give you no X factor for it. Offense, Andrew Luck, take care of business, gets game finished. This game's finished. I think the Colts will score every time. I think the Kansas City Chiefs will score most of the time. It's going to be a high-scoring game, but I'm leaning with the Colts to win this game. I wish I can tell you, oh, this needs to happen. This bottom line, if the Chiefs want to win this game, defense has to play football. That's it. That's it. Because I know the offense is going to take care of business. I don't think it's going to be a situation in which Mahomes comes out and all of a sudden it's interception city. Oh, it's my first playoff game. I don't know how to play effective football. I don't think that's the case. If the offensive line starts to fail him, and he now is under duress having to run out of the pocket here and there, and then, I'm going to look for Tyreek Hill. I'm going to throw it down there. I know he down there somewhere. But the defense for the Kansas City Chiefs, they have to show up. If they don't show up, this game finished. Bottom line. Justin Houston, D Ford, you guys got to get to the quarterback and force a sack. Is it going to happen? We don't know. Andrew Luck hasn't been touched. It's up to the Kansas City Chiefs defense. That's all I could say. That's it. They have a very high-powered offense. They have a very effective offensive front. But if their defense doesn't show up, game done. That's it. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate, reverberate, regurgitate this to you. It's on their defense if they want to win this game. I'm rolling with the Colts to win this game. Defensively, I think they're going to come out, limit the Chiefs here and there. But for the most part, I think the Chiefs offense will be able to put up points. But their defense will fail them. I'm rolling with the Colts to win this game. I might just have to go put some money down on the Colts. In fact, I think I did. Maybe like $15 or $20. Whatever the case is, I might have to put a little bit more because my Bookie.ag, they got some. You bet on the Colts, you win you some money. But that has been my picks. All right. I believe the only injury this week, is it David Irving? I don't think there's anybody else who's really on the injury report for any of the teams that's a big-time name that's not going to be playing, or who got hurt last week, or who got hurt in week 17, at least something like that. I don't think there's any huge injury report things, but those are my picks. I got the Chargers winning, Colts winning, Cowboys winning, Saints winning, and that'll set up the NFC Championship, in which the Saints are taking on the Cowboys, and then you have the Colts taking on the Chargers to see who will go to Super Bowl 53. Now, granted, this can change. I think I'll update it tomorrow before the games if I have any sort of different feeling, or you guys can follow me on Twitter where I do live reaction to the game as it's going on, every quarter analysis, or I should say halftime analysis, post-game analysis, but throughout the entire game, I live tweet. But I don't know. Right now, that's what I feel in my soul, man. I got the Cowboys. I'm leaning towards the Cowboys. I'm leaning to. Hey, I can lean back. I can one or the other. I feel like the 10 tower where Ho is at, and I'm just leaning back and forth. I'm leaning back and forth. Right now, I'm leaning towards the Cowboys, but that can be subject to change. But I do have the Saints defeating the Eagles. I feel that wholeheartedly. The Saints will win this game. Sorry, Eagles fans. It's unfortunate. Fly, Eagles, fly. Today is the day that you land. Then got the Colts defeating the Chiefs. I have no confidence in the Chiefs defense. I don't see a situation in which that changed. And then the Chargers taking on the Patriots. I'm leaning towards the Chargers because I believe their defense is much better than the Patriots defense. But still, that's Tom Brady over there. Or as Deion Sanders would say, Tom Brady and them. So we'll see what'll go down. Maybe I might just shift towards the Patriots at that point because they're a much better football team at home. But this particular Patriot team, I believe the Chargers are a much more complete team. And I think special teams here. If Desmond King gets going on special teams, this game finished already. I think first quarter, if Desmond King has a big-time special team return, it's done. All right, it's done. I'm rolling towards the Chargers winning this game. Those have been my picks. Let me know in the comment section who you believe will win. More importantly, why you think they will win. So far, I'm 2-2 in the playoffs. I was in a position in which I could have been, 4-0, but the Bears, missed the kick, and Seattle, you don't know how to kick an onside kick. But that has been my picks. I have been the host of the 2018 NFL Divisional Round Pre-Game Analysis. I'm the host, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. This has been sponsored by MyBookie.ag. I don't know if you can see the t-shirt or not, but go over there, use a promo code Chiseled Adonis, bet on some games and win. Use some money. I am signing out. Enjoy your NFL playoff weekend.